Hey, welcome back to Bob's Two-Car Garage. Now this week we had some new flooring put in our house. It's that new vinyl flooring that looks like wood. It's skinnier than my old flooring, which means I have a gap right there along the bottom of my baseboard and at the bottom of my casing. Could just leave it that way, but it doesn't look good. So I'm going to replace my casings and my baseboard. Hi, my name is Bob, and I love my two-car garage. Now, the terminology here goes like this. This piece right here is called the door jamb. This piece right here is called the casing, the piece that's on the front. And on an interior door, this piece right here that stops the door is called stop. So when you go to the hardware store, it's going to sound like you know what you're talking about. All right, to start with, I'm going to remove this door casing. Now, you need to know that many times the casing is what holds the door in place, or the door jams in place. So if I take out both sides at once, these are going to start, the jams are going to start to wiggle around, and your door is going to be all out of whack. The reveal around the outside of the door is not going to be right. So we're going to do it one side at a time. I need 3 tools. I need this right here. Nice sharp utility knife, nice sharp little crowbar, and a hammer. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this knife and I'm going to carefully cut right along here where the casing meets the jamb. And I want to do that because if I don't, when I take this off, and I'm going to do that on both sides, on the inside and on the outside right here, I have to cut the old caulk. And then I'm going to use this and this to pull off the casing. Did a good job with the cut. It's going to come off nice and clean. And then I'm going to clean off this edge. I'm going to remove the old nails right here. Maybe scrape back the caulk that was on there from before. I might not take it all off though, because it actually is gonna it's gonna mate pretty well with my new piece of casing. All right, now the distance that this casing is from the edge of the jamb is pretty important. It makes it look nice. You don't want it towards right flush up against the end of the jamb. You don't want it too far back that way, or because then you don't have enough to nail to. So I'm going to set my little combo square here to 1/8 of an inch. Could be a little bit more, could be like 5/32, but I'm going to set it at 1/8, and then I'm going to make a little mark like this, and I'm going to let that line show when I actually nail it down. So it's really going to end up about 5/32. And up here at the top, or I've got my little mark. I'm gonna mark it real carefully, and that is gonna be where I make my miter cut from, right there. And on this side of the casing, into the jamb, I'm gonna use my smaller nailer here. It's 18 gauge, 1.25 inches. It's gonna have plenty of holding power. I want to make sure that I don't miss my jamb when I go in there, and I'm going to go all the way down that side first. On the outside of my casings, I'm using my 15 gauge nailer with a 2-inch nail in it, and I want to pick a spot that has some detail in it because it seems to not show quite so much. So I'm going to probably shoot it in about right there, and of course I want to make sure that I hit that trimmer stud right there. And by the way, if I was not using my nailer, I would be using 4-penny nails down the jamb side of the casing, and then on the outside of the casing I would use 6 or 8 penny nails. This jamb might wiggle back and forth a little bit, and if it does, you want to make sure that it still lines up with your door. So you can pull your door in like this, make sure that it's still a nice reveal along that edge. And in this case, it's good and solid, so I'm not going to have to worry about it. Now when I'm installing casing, I like to start on one side and work my way around, kind of chase it around. So I've got this side cut, I got this side mitered. I'm going to stick it up in here and then make a mark on this side and go out and cut that other side. And I'm in kind of a tight spot right here because I'm up against this wall. So before I nail this top piece in, I'm going to go ahead and mark my right piece and cut that as well. Little glue is a good idea right up here to hold that joint together. Little trick here on these corners. Sometimes if this wall is further back than the jamb, it'll open up your joint right there. And so I can actually wedge from the back side to tighten up that joint. This one's not so bad, so I'm gonna let it be and just caulk it up, but a little wedge from the top will pull both sides out and close up any little gap that you might have in the corner right there. Great little trick. Well, there you have it, door casing 101. And now my door casings fit down here at the bottom. It looks right. Don't forget, man skilled in his work will stand before king, so do your best.